news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica RIx. And that's your closing bell on Wall Street. The Dow lost 62 points today, down about 0.1%. The Nasdaq was down 137, down 0.6%. And the S&P lost 30 points, down about 0.5 percentage point. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.19%. The 2-year Treasury yield at 3.71%. Stocks wiped out gains after data showed U.S. service sector activity nearly stagnated last month. The employment index dropped to 46.4, contracting for the fourth time in the past 5 months. It's one of the lowest readings since the pandemic, thanks to fallout from higher tariffs. And oil sank as Russia reportedly weighs an air truce with Ukraine. Retired two-star Marine Corps Major General Arnold Punero weighed in on Bloomberg today. He says he wouldn't trust President Putin.
He's a thug. He kills his own people. He has no regard for human life. I think we've got to bring the hammer down and put the sanctions in place. Give Ukraine the weapons they need to defend their country, both offensively and defensively.
You can hear more from Arnold Punero on the Bloomberg Balance of Power podcast. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to meet with officials in Moscow tomorrow to discuss potential sanctions from the U.S. if the Kremlin does not reach a peace deal. Rivian just reported a larger adjusted loss this year than previously expected, from $2 billion to $2.25 billion. The electric vehicle company citing recent changes to fuel economy rules in the U.S. that it says threaten a key source of revenue. Shares of Rivian now down 3.7% in post-market trading. Meantime, shares of Advanced Micro Devices are down almost 4% now, despite a strong forecast for its current period. The company says third quarter sales will be about $8.7 billion, beating analyst estimates, not including sales of AI chips to China. The report signaling AMD is making inroads in an industry dominated by NVIDIA. President Trump says higher tariffs on semiconductor and pharmaceutical imports are coming within the next week or so. And initially, the president says they'll be small, but they will increase to 150%, then 250% if companies don't make more drugs in the U.S.
Yeah. They make a fortune with pharmaceuticals, and they make our pharmaceuticals in China and Ireland and everything else. And within the next week or so, we're going to be announcing tariffs on specifically. This is a separate class than the 15% tariffs on sort of everything.
President Trump this morning on CNBC. The Commerce Department has also been investigating the chip market for possible tariffs since April. That industry is expected to generate about $700 billion in global sales. Swiss President Karen Keller-Sutter has arrived in Washington now to facilitate meetings with the Trump administration about a 39% tariff. Here's Bloomberg News global trade editor Brendan Murray.
We'll see if the Swiss officials can come up with something that they can announce, that they can agree to, that will change Trump's mind. But at the moment, they don't have much time left, and the differences seem pretty broad, too broad to close over the next day or two.
Bloomberg News global trade editor Brendan Murray there. He says the Swiss leader is coming without a formal White House invitation. Meantime, the president says he's very close to a deal with China to extend their trade truce beyond August 12th. If they agree, Trump says he'll meet with President Xi Jinping before the end of the year. A new Coast Guard report out today says the Titan submersible that imploded on its way to the Titanic 2 years ago was a preventable disaster. You may remember 5 people were killed on board. The Coast Guard's Marine Board blaming OceanGate's inadequate design, maintenance, and inspection process, saying the company failed to properly investigate known issues with the sub's hull following a previous dive. And OpenAI says it's nearing the 700 million weekly ChatGPT user mark. The company's crediting its popularity to the launch of its upgraded image generation feature. ChatGPT is also seeing an uptick in paid users. It now has 5 million business subscribers. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica RIx, and this is Bloomberg.